Look like an idiot out here. Just a complete idiot. Are looking like, what the hell is this guy doing here? What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? What is going on, Laker fans? I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I always had faith. How many times did I tell you guys? Just wait for the barometer games. Barometer. One of these times they were going to win a barometer game, and they finally did it. By the way, there were a couple people that are piling out of here just looking at some idiot shadow boxing, but I will take it. Lakers over the Boston Celtics. Let me get our banner in here real quick. Always forget it. Lakers over the Celtics. Biggest win of the season by far. Big-time W for the Lakers. Needed it. Got to get some kind of momentum. We know their record against, obviously, against bad teams. So getting a chance to have an impressive win like this on national TV, that's big time. We got a lot to get into in tonight's post-game show. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I know there's many different places that you can be. The fact that you come here and you hang out with me is very much appreciated. You know, I do this in the morning. I grab my cup of Joe. Well, how about in the evening, too? Get a little cup of Joe going here, huh? All right, get your beer, wine, whatever it is that you're having. If you hear a lot in the background, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, that's simply because there's a lot going on back here. All right, we got a lot to get into. Like I mentioned, biggest win of the season. Let me kind of start breaking down what I saw tonight, what some of my thoughts are with the Lakers handling business against the Celtics. You know, coming into this game, I think there was a lot of conversation about first off, I don't think there was a lot of confidence about the Lakers winning this game. I mean, I don't really know why coming in there'd be a lot of people kind of saying to themselves, oh, yeah, that's fine. Lakers they're going to handle business. They're going to do this. They're going to do that, whatever the case is. I think tonight was one of those games where you kind of, it threw you off. It's not something that you were expecting. It wasn't, you know, if you kind of look up and down in the stats, and you guys have heard me say this about the Celtics. Look, I know this is a Laker show and a Laker channel, and you know, obviously a lot of Laker fans on here. The league right now is running through the Celtics. I had somebody tell me here, somebody else that does some media, he's like, hey, I watch a lot of these Celtics games. They're overrated. Okay, maybe he's right. But from what I know, this Celtics team, I look at them and I kind of, in my opinion, they're the class of the league. Everybody's chasing them because they're the defending champs. And I got a feeling they're kind of cruising a little bit here in the regular season. That doesn't mean anything to the Lakers. For the Lakers, you haven't beat the Cleveland Cavaliers of the world. You haven't beat the OKC Thunders of the world. I think early on, Lakers got Denver. I know they got some other wins against other teams, but for the most part, when you look at this Lakers team, there aren't too many signature games that you can say, well, hey, this is a great win for the Lakers, and this is something that they can build on. They can build off a game like this. You can't build off a win against the Wizards or Miami that's hovering around 500, the loss that they had against the Clippers, the bad loss they had against the San Antonio Spurs. You can't build off of games like that. Certainly can't build off of losses. At least in a game like this, you beat the defending champs and you blow them out from the beginning. That's something that you can build off of. I want to point out something with the team stats, and this happens a lot with the Lakers. You know, the biggest lead that the Boston Celtics had in this game tonight was one. It was early on. Biggest lead Lakers had was 28. They were in control the entire time. They were in control the entire game. And that, to me, is the thing that I pay most attention to, is not only did they win, kind of dominated the Celtics. And if those that want to go out there and they want to say, yeah, but you know what? Boston played a game last night and they won they ended up winning in OT against the Clippers. If people want to point that out, that's fine. You could point that out. I don't care. It literally means absolutely nothing to me. You know, whether the Lakers beat them on a second of a back-to-back or they didn't, that means nothing to me at all. Lakers got the W. They got a win against a really good Boston Celtics team. You look at some of their, some of the players for the Celtics. I'm paying attention here real quick to that starting lineup. Drew Holiday and Derek White, do you know what they combined for? They were 2 for 11. Drew Holiday and Derek White, who I think are arguably the two most important players on this team after Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Those guys are critical. They did nothing in this game against the Lakers. So there's a lot to be, I think it's a head scratcher in some sense. I think a lot of people that were here tonight weren't exactly expecting anything like this. I don't think there were a lot of people that, were getting ready to watch the Lakers and the Celtics were feeling confident Lakers were going to walk away with a W, but they did. And I'm here to do nothing more than to give the Lakers credit tonight because they deserve it. There's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of this in the chat. I saw a couple of these earlier. Basically, stuff like this. I don't believe what I just saw. We're back. I think you're going to get some of those. You'll get some of these as well. These are also going to be in the mix here. But I think for the most part, the thing that I take away the most, this wasn't the Celtics losing a game. This was the Lakers coming in and handling business. It was really, really nice to see. And by the way, as soon as JJ Redick talks, we'll go to JJ. He's actually talking right now. Let me jump into JJ. Get your comments in, get your thoughts in, and I'll get to you guys here in just a little bit. Here's Redick on the Lakers win over the Celtics.
It's not necessarily for you to get a shot. It's to start something else. And that requires a lot of sacrifice. And I think when we've been at our best offensively, that's how we look. It is not about my shot, your shot. It's about let's create a good shot for us. And there's a balance there for sure, because you use the word aggressiveness and you do have to have that individual aggressiveness, but you also have to be willing to do all the other stuff to make sure your teammate has the right spacing, or you're creating an advantage for an on-ball player, or creating an advantage for an off-ball player. But we were great offensively in the first half, and honestly got stalled out a little bit in the third quarter. I didn't like the way we started the third, just in terms of our pace within the half court. It was just very slow, but because our defense still defended at a high level, we were able to, maintain that cushion that we had.
JJ, when I asked you yesterday or a couple days ago, I forget whenever it was, about the trade deadline, you had said kind of part of the evaluation is like figuring out what this team is now. What does a performance like that against an opponent like that say about a team's ceiling? Does it adjust it as you guys evaluate?
We're worried about ourselves, and we're looking for consistency.
This group, along those lines, in terms of consistency, you mentioned that third quarter. There have been times when you guys have stalled out and kind of a problem sort of breaks a lot of stuff. Did you see a different level of resolve tonight?
I did. It was a lot of it was on the defensive end, and it wasn't like we didn't generate any good looks. It's more about that process where we were 11 for 20 in the first half on threes. If we were 6 for 20, I would have loved the process. I would have loved how we played. So it's about sort of returning to that. And even the group that came in at the end, the last few minutes, I love the way they played. I thought our bench overall was awesome. Doe shot 2 awful threes. They were good shots, but just awful threes. It looked like he'd never touched a basketball before. But defensively and on the glass, he was awesome. His talk, he really lifts the team on that end so much. And DK, with his run in the first half, sort of extended our lead. Gabe was awesome all night. Jackson, in every stint he went in, was fantastic. So those 4 guys, and then the guys that finished the game as well. Just high level stuff from our bench tonight.
All right, we'll stop it there. Around 39 times. They're taking all the seats out here. So I don't know if that means I'll be getting kicked out of here anytime soon. I'm not sure, but we'll keep going until we're told that we can't go anymore. Okay, there's JJ Redick right there. I asked JJ before the game, get a chance sometimes to ask questions. I asked JJ, I almost threw him the barometer game, right? You guys have heard me say how many different times that this Lakers team, every time it looks like they got a tough matchup coming up, that it's a game where we can all kind of look at and say to ourselves, all right, let's kind of gauge where the Lakers are. My question was kind of similar to that. You're playing a championship caliber team, a lot of good players. They're one of the elite in the NBA. Do you look at this game a little bit differently when you analyze how your team plays against them? He kind of did a little bit of that coach speak where it was, every game's important. I pay attention to all the games. Yes, they're a good opponent, but kind of indicating more that he wasn't going to treat the game any differently. I don't believe him. This is not a regular game. It's not. It's just not. When you beat teams around the NBA and when the Lakers have struggled against teams over 500, a game like this against the Boston Celtics, it's important. It's very important. This could be the kind of defining moment for the Lakers. I'm going to spend some time tomorrow when I do my show tomorrow morning. We're going to get into that conversation that Shams Charania had with Anthony Davis about AD wanting to play with a big. We're talking about the last couple of days where LeBron said something about the construction of the roster. There was another report out there that LeBron and Anthony Davis doesn't sound like they're all that confident about what the Lakers are, what the front office has been doing as far as will they be able to use those draft picks to go. There's pressure on Rob Pelinka right now. There's pressure on this Lakers team. And one of the things that they definitely have to do at this point is, at least prove to the front office that this is a team that is going to be competing, that this is a team that is in a position where they at least should go out there and mortgage the future. First off, they should mortgage the future because they're clearly not trying to sell and they're clearly not in a position where they want to, think about the future. But I'm sure the front office and Rob Pelinka, they need games like this to also convince themselves. That roster and that coaching staff needs to convince the front office, go spend those draft picks. We can hang with some of these good teams. If tonight Boston won by 20, then it gives almost more ammo for the front office today to say to themselves, why are we just shopping these picks for nothing? I'll get into that a little bit more of that tomorrow. Also, it sounds like the price is getting driven up for the Lakers, the Laker tax, as we like to call it. Always a Laker tax out there. Okay, let me look at some of the comments here. Wow, Chuck got nothing to say. I'm not watching TNT, but I'm assuming tonight he's got nothing to say. Here's another one. Celtics and Barkley can take a hike tonight. AD is right. We are 1 or 2 pieces away. Let me put it this way. You're going to get Jared Vanderbilt. He's going to come back hopefully in your next matchup on Saturday when you take on the Golden State Warriors. I think no question about it, Lakers need more talent, period. They need more. They do. And whether that's a backup big, by the way, accommodate whatever Anthony Davis wants. That's your present and your future. Make sure you listen to him. I would listen to him more than I'd listen to LeBron. AD is going to be around for a lot longer than, LeBron James. So you need that backup big. You got Jared Vanderbilt coming. And then, the idea then is going to be, is there another type of player, somebody that could be a little bit more of a ball handler, a facilitator? This morning I talked a little bit about Lonzo Ball. 1 or 2 pieces away. All you're trying to do if you're the Lakers, just be in the mix. Start playing games in the second half of the season. Today was the first game of the second half of the season. Start playing games moving forward where you can clearly tell that this team, they can be a threat. They potentially will be a threat. And that's all you can ask for. What was it? Dan Weike. This was last time him and I connected last week. He said, you can find trades. Maybe it gets you 5-7% better, just marginally continue to get better. And then you're hoping for that the actual team that you have that's constructed right now is a little bit better as well. I want to go back to tonight's game, and I thought there was a key stretch in that second quarter where the Lakers kind of started separating themselves. Gabe Vincent, 12 points. He was a plus 22 in the plus-minus. 4 of 8 from the field. All of his buckets were threes. I thought he had some big shots for the Lakers. It was nice to see his contributions. Let's give some credit to Dalton Knecht. 13 points for Dalton Knecht. 5 of 7 from the field. 3 of 4 from the three-point line. I know most of that damage for both of those players came in the first half, but big time. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. That's big time. That was kind of one of those moments for the Lakers where those two players, to get minutes from those two guys. Think about what Dalton Knecht and Gabe Vincent did versus what Drew Holiday and Derek White did for the Boston Celtics. I mean, those two guys outplayed them. Who the hell was expecting that? I certainly wasn't expecting that by any stretch of the imagination. All right, let me look at a couple more of these comments here as we keep going. Couple supers here. Let me get into them. Awesome win, but I just can't give over the fact that AD and Austin were clearly fouled. What were the refs thinking? I got nothing but positivity tonight. So, Hoser, I appreciate the super. Thank you very much. Well, there's always things that we can complain about, but I don't got anything to complain about today. I really don't. Thank you for the super, brother. Let me get another one in here. Francis, I'll be sleeping good and confused. I like this. This is good. Because I think I'm with you on this one. I will be sleeping good and confused tonight. What the hell just happened? Anyways, great win. More importantly, Slee is 1 for 300 finally on his barometer games. Listen, whatever it takes. You know, sometimes you got to go 1 for 300, but you got the one. If you do it often enough, you're going to eventually get one, right? You shoot enough shots, eventually one's going to go in. Thank you for the super, brother. Get another one here. Tevin, how is that for a barometer game? Little Italy, Florida. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, let me just do one thing here. All right, let me get that out. All right, yeah, jack that up. There we go. All right. I had the green screen light on, but I don't need the green screen because we're here at the arena. Good vibe in here too, by the way. Phenomenal vibe tonight. Laker fans really haven't had something, you know, really to cheer for over these last, I don't know what you want to call it, last couple of months or whatever the case is. If the postgame postgame show gets cut off, I'm telling you, there's a reason. They're picking up everything here. I don't know if I could be in this exact area. All right, let me see another one here. Anytime you think AD is soft, just watch Porzingis. Yeah, I'll tell you this. I will tell you that that's not his game. That's not Porzingis' game. And I understand that, you know, most people would kind of sit back and they would say, well, they're going to do Porzingis is 7'4". What's he not doing in the block? Just not his game. Never has been. Slee, were they kicking you out? They may very well be. Might have to move here. I don't understand this team. They make me so mad. All right, you don't got to get angry, but I'm with you on that. I don't understand it either. All right, let me get a couple more here, and then we'll keep things moving here. I got a couple other things I want to talk about here real quick. So, AD 24 and 8. LeBron 20, 14 rebounds and 6 assists. This was part of the beauty of tonight's game. You had how many different players that contributed? Guys, I actually asked a question. Joe Mazzulla, who's the coach of the Boston Celtics, I was trying to kind of reference this to the Lakers, and I was pointing out the Boston Celtics when I did it. A lot of people talk about their stars, right? Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. What makes them a championship squad and team, what makes them a championship team is the mere fact that their 3 through about 9 are all contributors, really, really good players. That's the difference between the Boston Celtics and a lot of other teams out there. When you look at the Lakers, apologize, guys. It's not my home. When you look at the Lakers, one of the big things or one of the biggest frustrations that we have with the Lakers, this is always the same case with the Lakers. The biggest frustrations we have with them is the mere fact that on a night in, night out basis, I don't know what Dorian Finney-Smith, what Gabe Vincent, what Dalton Connect, Max Christie, and Rui Hachimura. I don't know what they're going to give you every night. Tonight you had 15 points, over 20 points off the bench. That doesn't typically happen. You had 4, 5, 6 guys in double figures. That doesn't typically happen. And then you just had solid overall defense by the Lakers. Any way that you look at it, you had solid defense from the Lakers side of things. All right, let's get to some more comments here. Defense, a lot of construction. I know, guys, a lot of construction. DFS will always bring defense. Yeah, DFS 0 points tonight, by the way. Didn't have anything, but it was a plus 20 in the plus minus. I'll take it. Listen, in any win, I genuinely mean this when I say it. I don't care how they win, as long as they win. That's the only thing that matters. And they got the W tonight, and they look good getting the W. All right, let's get a couple more here. These comments are kind of funny. I got to be honest with you. I think they got a concert coming up. I guess so. Oh, they got a hockey game tomorrow. That's what it is. They're setting up for the hockey game tomorrow. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. As soon as we get another interview too, I'll go to it, and then maybe I'll see here, and I'll potentially relocate this bad boy and see if we can get into a different area. Let me see what else we have here. All right, they're showing some different highlights right now. You see LeBron doing his thing. If you guys got some thoughts, comments on the game, feel free to throw them in. I do want to also mention that the next, I want to say Lakers are going to go on. I want to see how many games in a row that it's going to be on the road. But they kind of had that home cooking. We were all of us were waiting on that home cooking. They have over the course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on the road. So that's where the Lakers are going to go moving forward. They're going to be on the road. All right, let's take a quick listen here. Here's Bron talking. Take a listen to him. Here's LeBron after the game.
Executed, and we know it's a great team, defending champions, great players, and they're gonna put you in situations that's uncomfortable, but you have to be uncomfortable in order to compete with them.
You mentioned the other night, Boston is who they are. You guys are who you are. But for you guys as a whole, from start to finish, what did this one show you about who you are?
It just showed us that we can take a game plan and execute it. And like I said, our coaches gave us a game plan that they felt like was the best in order to help us win this game, and we just executed as a team.
JJ's told us that at times when you guys haven't looked your best this year, you weren't connected on the court. Were there examples of the way you were connected tonight that allowed you to have an outcome like this?
I just thought our communication was really good. We knew we wanted to execute, especially defensively, and we executed that. Offensively, we didn't turn the ball over, and they're pretty good defensively as well. We didn't turn the ball over. We didn't force a lot of shots. We were good at all facets.
JJ also said that he hoped that this game was maybe a reminder of what you guys can be when you're at your best. How do you see you being able to serve as
It's a long NBA season. I don't get too high, I get too low, I stay even keel. So, we've been up and down a little bit, throughout the majority of the season. Hopefully it's the first 48 when we was up and down. And hopefully the next 48, the next 41, we can kind of build and trend higher, trend up. So I think we've learned from some of the mistakes that we've made through the first 41. Obviously, you could tell I like that show. First 41, we were kind of up and down in the first 41. So hopefully we can use our things that we did in the first 41 to now these next 41 to get better at it, not have to look back and go, okay, what are we doing? We should be able to learn from those. So we see.
Does a game like this against the Celtics, against the champs?
Nope, they sure don't. I can tell your enthusiasm in your voice. And heard that question way too many times in my career. Absolutely not. It's one game. They hosted Larry O'Brien Trophy. We're trying to aspire to get there. We want to just continue to work our habits, work our game. So, yeah, absolutely does not.
JJ said before the game it's not a measuring stick game. What do you want to take out of a convincing win like this on the road for this long trip?
Nothing. We want a game at home. We protect the home. But our game plan would be different versus Steph than it was versus this team and versus Golden State. Our game plan would be different. So how we execute that will put us in position to either win or lose. And, we have to play for 48 minutes. So you can't use one game to the next game. Games are totally different.
Understanding that, as you guys though build over a course of 82 games, I'm going to try.
You said you understand it first, and now you can still try to ask me a question.
We'll see if I get there.
Do you understand it?
We'll see if
I'm listening. Go ahead.
But getting the right type of game plan execution from some of your younger players, seeing guys like Dalton hit big shots in the first half, seeing Gabe now is we're in a month and a half now of him shooting the ball like that. How does that change, or can that change his trajectory?
I think guys came in, and when the number was called, guys came in, and like I said, they executed what we wanted to do. And Gabe has been, like you said, for the last month and a half, been shooting extremely well. He's been available to us, and that's the most important right there. We know what we get from him. We get a championship caliber guy. DK obviously been struggling a little bit to find his shooting, but tonight he hit 2 big threes in that second quarter that really helped us. And he played exceptionally well tonight. I thought Jackson was great. I thought even with Dodo, missing, I think, all 3 of his shots or 2 of it, how many shots he took. He was amazing defensively, and his scrappiness, his willingness to do whatever we need on the defensive end. I think his shots will come. So, but I think everybody who got the nod, played well.
All right, we'll stop it right there. All right, let's keep going here. There are some thoughts here. It's kind of funny. I keep listening. I mentioned JJ Redick, mentioned not a barometer game. I mentioned that, you heard LeBron there saying, no, this is nothing. It's just one game against the Boston Celtics. Doesn't feel like that way to me. Now, I didn't play 22 years in the NBA, and I'm not, one of the all-time greats. So if LeBron says that, then he has a reason why he's saying it. But I find it very difficult to think that this game is like the others. I really do. A couple of people here want a couple fist bumps right there. I got you. I find it very difficult to think that this was just the same game like some of the other games out there. So I think for me, the thing that I pay most attention to is, I was doing the show this morning. We were talking a little bit about the Lakers are in the 5th seed, but it doesn't feel like in the 5th seed. They don't, is that going to change? Probably against the Boston Celtics, it starts going the other way. Well, they held their ground, and they are in the 5th seed. And 6 games over 500. A nice win over the Celtics. They're going to go up against a struggling Golden State Warriors team, coming up in their next game. I think the Warriors are at 500, 22-22. If anything, if the game doesn't mean anything more, it has to at least give them a little bit more confidence in what they're doing, what they're trying to build for, what they're trying to plan. So, in that regard, it has to have a little bit of it's got to give them a little bit of love. I know what Dan Weike was trying to do there, too. He mentioned, he asked about certain players. Does it help certain players? And I think it does help Dalton Connect. I think it does help Gabe Vincent. I think it does help some of those other role players right there. So keeping all that in mind, just no other way to put it, but a solid win for the Lakers. We'll look at some of your comments here. I'm not going to go as long as I usually do go tonight. They are setting up for a Kings hockey game. So they are working on the area that I'm in. They're actually literally taking out the flooring and the seating. So I won't go for too much longer so these guys can go do their thing. Somebody had put in here that DFS, where's the one I was looking at? Somebody was making the argument that Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt are kind of the same players. I think the message that they were trying to send across. Not at all. When Jared Vanderbilt comes back and the Lakers now are in a position where they can play Vando to, really go guard against other players and be kind of that defensive specialist that he is, that's going to be number one. But number two is also going to be, which is just as important, Dorian Finney-Smith can go get you stops, but Dorian Finney-Smith was shooting 45% from the three-point line or just under 45 before he got traded to the Lakers. Now, that hasn't continued. That hasn't been as consistent, but that's something to keep in mind because that portion, in my opinion, is very, very impressive. All right, let's see what else we got here. Vando guards 1 through 4, DFS guards 3 through 5. They're both going to be key players. So I don't know what else to tell you. They're both going to be very, very important players. Okay, couple games coming up for the Lakers I was just mentioning. So the road trip, if you just look at the road trip, this is what they got coming up here. The Golden State Warriors on Saturday. The Hornets coming up on Monday. Philly on Tuesday. Washington on Thursday. The Knicks on Saturday. Basically, every team that they're playing is at 500 or below 500 other than the Knicks team. Now, what does that exactly mean? I know we're going to probably run into situations where the Lakers are the Lakers and they're going to probably make their life a little bit more difficult. But that is it's phenomenal. That's a great position to be in if they could take advantage of it. If they can't take advantage of it, then I don't know what to tell you. But if they came back, even if they came back 3-3 on that 6-game road trip, that's not good enough. At least 4-2 is where they got to come back. So I think from that capacity, I think as somebody's pointed here, Lakers specialty is teams below 500. 13-1 versus teams that are below 500. You literally can't ask for anything more than that. What you need to start doing now is start stacking up some wins against teams that are above 500. Okay, couple things here that I want to mention here, and then we're going to call it a night. I want to be respectful to all the people that are out here who are literally waiting on me. There's a couple people waiting. I don't want to make them wait anymore. If you want more conversation about this Lakers game, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., come hang out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We got a lot of conversations that we're going to get into, plus all this stuff that's going on with Rob Pelinka, Anthony Davis, the conversation about what players to go out there and get. So we're going to do all that tomorrow coming up at 8 a.m. Please subscribe to the channel. Biggest win of the season for the Lakers tonight over the Celtics, 117-96. So obviously a big-time win for the Lake Show. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to let these guys do their thing. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you for being a part of the show. Lakers over the Celtics, 117-96. Have a great rest of your night.